everyone. I hope you're doing good and welcome to API Fundamentals Student Expert course in collaboration with LetsUpgrade. My name is Ali Mustafa and I work as a senior delivery advocate here at Postman. Now, before we get started, let's go ahead and give a small poll in the chat and tell me where are you folks joining in from. I'm personally joining in from Mumbai, my home place. Would love to hear and see where all the other people, are joining from, because in online we don't know where you folks are from. So I see so many big numbers here, but let's see, let's get the chat rolling and put in all your energy there. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat on the left hand side, so if you kind of see me eyeing there, I'm looking at you folks in the chat. That's awesome. I see a lot of people from different parts of the country. Amazing. Oh, there are people from outside the country as well. Nice. Bengaluru, Mumbai, Delhi, nice. Kolkata, cool. Yeah, I see people from all over India. That's super amazing. Tamil Nadu, nice, nice. Gujarat, cool. Yeah, keep that energy flowing in, folks. As we get started, I'll take a moment before we, to kind of soak in that energy, and then we'll get started with the certification. By the way, today you have 4 opportunities to earn some awesome swags, and not just Postman swags. I saw the brochure. It has a lot of things which I'll talk about. But yeah, I hope you'll enjoy this session a lot. Awesome. That's super amazing. I can hardly read the chat. So much energy in there, from all across the country and across the world. So yeah, let's quickly get started. Let me quickly share my screen, and let's get started with API fundamental certification for today. By the way, I mentioned about myself. I work at Postman. I've been kind of, doing, like API fundamental trainings for a lot of time. You might have seen me, like here on this channel before, and elsewhere. I also do in-person workshops. So in case you ever kind of see me there, say me hi. So the agenda for today is going to be intro into APIs and Postman. You'll do hands-on. This course is completely hands-on, like almost 80% hands-on and a little bit of theory. And then you will get certificates. We'll follow up and do a little Q&A. So yeah, this is me. I have been like going to different, colleges, communities, and delivering and talking about APIs, and not just APIs, but all of the technologies in general. I'm also a TEDx speaker, so in case you ever feel demotivated or you want to check out my TEDx, you can just Google my name, add TEDx in front of it, and you will find my TEDx. It's about machine learning, a little bit of technical, but a lot of community insights there. This is me at different conferences. I actually met some of you from the previous cohorts, in a recent event, and I really felt that connection that I'm teaching you online, but I'm also meeting you offline, right? And I would love to meet you next time. You kind of see me somewhere, say hi, click a photo. Would love to keep that memory. Awesome. So I mentioned there are so many giveaways for today. The very first one is the social media challenge, which we are running exclusively on Twitter, which is now the X. And here you have to just share whatever you're learning throughout the session, attach some photos, tag us, and stand a chance to win some awesome Postman goodies. Remember, this challenge is going to end within the next 2 days, so I'll ask you to kind of go ahead and participate and make your chances maximum to win some awesome swags. You can actually go and check out our previous winners as well, but I'll actually share that a little bit later. So yeah, keep clicking photos, keep sharing about what we are going to learn, and let's ace this. I see in chat someone says, do we get a certificate? Absolutely. It's a free certification. So you said you get 2 certificates, one from LetsUpgrade and one from Postman, which is super cool, right? And you also get an opportunity to get a ton of free things. So yeah, see, these are the certificates. So you'll get a digital badge and you will also get a printable certificate, which you can kind of print a hard copy and keep it with you if you are, that kind of a person. But yeah, in general, you will also receive a badge, which is like a digital badge, which is verifiable by itself. So you can kind of go ahead and share it with the recruiters, or add it on your resume or on your LinkedIn profile. That's enough about what you're gonna get, and about myself. Let's go ahead and start learning about APIs. What are APIs? Imagine that you go into a restaurant. What is the very first thing you're going to do? Yes? You just walk into a restaurant. What are you going to do? Yeah, I'm waiting for your response in the chat. So I'm going to kind of keep it very interactive, right? Okay. People say they are going to go to the waiter. Nice. They're going to grab a seat. Nice. Okay. They're going to order food. Yes, absolutely. But you're not going to order standing, right? No. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and grab a seat, right? Then what happens next? Does the chef come to you and ask you what you want to eat? Or you go to the chef directly and tell him what you want to eat? Yeah, not really, right? Obviously, why will you interact with chef? Chef will not even look at you. He doesn't know who's eating their food, which they are cooking. So who's that you are going to interact with? The waiter, exactly, right in the chats, right? So I saw a lot of options mentioning waiter, exactly, right? So you're going to interact with the wait person and the waiter, where they're going to bring you a set of menu, and then you get to select the items which you want to eat in that particular restaurant. So let's say I want to order a biryani. I can go to a restaurant, have a seat, tell waiter, hey, I want a biryani, and then the chef will prepare it, and the waiter will act as a communication between us and the chef. Now, why do you think we are not allowed in the kitchen? We could, why do we need a waiter? We could directly go to the kitchen, directly tell the chef, hey, we want this, and get it done. Yeah, I see in the chat hygiene issues. Yeah, you've seen those reels, crazy reels these days. But if you look at these, right, it's very simple. You cannot know which chef cooks what. And not just that, it is also very difficult to kind of, make that communication seamless. You will bring in 10 different things with you into the kitchen, which is a secure place, right? There should be hygiene. And so on and so forth. And they also have their secret spices, which they don't want to reveal to you. So there's a lot of things which is happening behind the scene. And from you as a customer, they are hiding all of this from an abstraction. And the waiter is kind of helping you communicate with the chef in a very, very easy manner, which you will understand. So imagine APIs are the waiters of the internet, right? So what they do, they enable you to kind of go ahead and talk to the chef via them. And so in technical terms, let's say you are a client, the API is the waiter, and then the chef is the API server. And what you're essentially doing is making a request to the waiter that, hey, I want a biryani. And then the waiter goes directly to the server, tries to fulfill that request. The server kind of makes that, as a chef, and hands it over to the waiter. And then the waiter brings that back as a response, right? So I hope you get this very, very simple concept about APIs, right? It's so fascinating, and it's also so good to kind of understand the abstraction of the world, right? So imagine you're going and swiping your ATM card in an ATM machine. What's happening at the back end is hundreds of API calls which enable that transaction to go through, and that's why APIs power the world. Awesome. Yeah. So what happens, let's say, if there's no API? In our case, a restaurant example, let's say I go to a restaurant and I start shouting, I want biryani, I want biryani. What will happen? They will throw me out for sure, right? And not just that, they will throw me out, but they'll also ban me from their restaurant because I'm just shouting, for no particular reason. So yeah, that is very essential when you are kind of going in. You have to kind of follow through the process which is laid down. And in our case, APIs kind of enable that, and in our example, waiters kind of enable that. So yeah, what's an API? Technical definition, application programming interfaces. I focus on the word interfaces. An interface can be, your laptop, it can be your mobile, it can be a watch you're wearing, or it can be literally any given screen, or not even a screen sometimes, right? It can be a remote where you're clicking buttons and then it's, taking actions. So interfaces can be anything. And our whole idea is to design these interfaces in a user-friendly manner where we are doing heavy lifting on the backend, on the server, and the user doesn't know what is happening behind the scene. The user is happy that the work is getting done, and the API is doing the heavy lifting. Imagine you're going to a railway station, you see a kiosk machine where you can print your tickets. You go to airport, you can enter your PNR and get your boarding passes. ATM machine are very good examples. So all of these examples are real world examples of where you will see API and interfaces in use in your day-to-day life. Awesome. So there's an API for literally everything out here, from the cat API to the dog API to Spotify. You like favorite songs. I used to do this earlier, where I would, want to kind of go ahead and create, like a Spotify API, and add my own playlist via these APIs, which would be so much fun. So yeah, there's a API for literally everything out there, and if there doesn't exist an API, you can definitely go ahead and create one, and there's an opportunity for business. So yeah, now, if you ask me what is my favorite API, a lot of people say there's this cat API or dog API, but for me personally, I love crocodiles. Have you seen croc videos? They're so awesome. They're just doing shenanigans here, there, everywhere, and not the ones where they get aggressive, but the cute ones. Yeah, the pokey crocodiles, right? But they are awesome. So I have trained my Instagram algorithm to just show me crocodile videos, right? And baby videos. I know crocodiles and baby don't go hand in hand, worlds apart. But yeah, that's something awesome. Yeah, someone mentioned in the chat, the yawing guy. Yeah, absolutely, right? The yawing guy, and I also know the yawing girl. I follow both of them, and they are awesome. They are still finding the 20 footer, which is nice. Okay. So yeah, a lot of fun with APIs. You can definitely go ahead and create your own API if you love something so much. Awesome. Now, the final, definition among APIs is around to kind of see where APIs fit into your terminology. So APIs are nothing but Lego bricks. So imagine, have you ever played with Lego bricks before? These small plastic blocks which you can attach together and build whatever. Tell me in the chat. Yes, no? I see a lot of yes. I'll take a sip of water till then. Nice. Lego bricks, like plastic ones. Yeah, the one we used to play, they were not really Lego, but similar. Nice, nice. Yes, yes. A lot of yes, a lot of no. If you're saying no, oh my God, you should play with Legos. They are really fun. Yeah. So Legos, the whole idea of Lego is that you could build whatever you want, whatever you can imagine. There are different blocks. Each block has a functionality, and you can attach them and build whatever you want. You can build a building, you can build a plane, you can convert that into a train. The imagination, you whatever you imagine, that's what you can build, and your imagination is your driver in this case. And imagine if you could kind of do that physically with a Lego brick. Let's assume that there are these small APIs which are available across the world, and you want to build an application. What you could do is you could combine all of these APIs and build your application. Now, not just let's say an app where you are kind of inviting external APIs, but also an app where each of your service is an API in its own self, right? Uh, it might be a little confusing, but let me explain you in a very simple word. So let's imagine how many Google products do we use on a daily basis? For me personally, I'm an email nerd, so Gmail is like my first email app I open in the morning. And then from there, I'll kind of go ahead, go to places to eat, obviously. So use maps and use so many Google products, day to day, right? Yeah, I see, Meet, nice, okay. YouTube, where you all are, watching this video, nice, okay. Good responses, cool. So yeah, we see that a lot of we use a lot of Google products. Now imagine if every Google product had a different login. Yeah, so you don't get to use your Google email ID and password for every service. How would that be? Crazy, right? Now imagine that you are someone who is building YouTube and who's building Google Photos and building Google Drives, and you want people to have a seamless experience, right? So again, how are you going to enable that? They all are separate products in its own self, separate functionality altogether, but intertwined through a single auth. Yes or no? Yes. So that's the power of APIs. So Google not just created an API for them internally to work across their product, but they also kind of shared it with the developer. So now you can see the sign in with Google button. Have you seen that somewhere? Yeah, so you can actually integrate that as a developer into your own app, and then people can use Google Sign In and sign in into your app. How cool that is, right? So these are some examples of how you could kind of imagine APIs as Lego bricks, right? So they are the software version of Legos, which we'll see in today's world. And in the world of AI, everything is an API, right? So if you look at all these AI companies, they have all of these AI APIs available, and we kind of consume them. Nice. Now, what is Postman? Postman is an API platform which will help you to design, test, document, and do all in one, things about API. And I emphasize on the word collaborative. It's a collaborative API platform, which means you're not just working, siloed alone. You're working in a team with different team members, and you're building, sharing your APIs with your colleagues and your consumers. So that's Postman for you. And I'll talk a little bit more about Postman, as we are kind of growing the course. But remember, Postman is the industry standard tool when it comes to working with APIs. If you have ever worked with an API, you have definitely worked with Postman. And 98% of Fortune 500 companies use Postman. Companies like Locker, PayPal, Philips, Uber, they all use Postman to enable their workflow and make their lives easy while working with APIs. So yeah, definitely check this out, and as we dive deeper into the course, we'll actually see more use cases. Nice. Now that you have made it till here, it's time to go ahead and go full throttle hands on. I hope you're still participating in the challenge. So, you are maximizing your chances of winning the swag. So let's open this document. As soon as you open this document, it will take you to this, Notion link. And this is our one-stop guide for everything you will need for today, right? So we are trying to finish this workshop by today, end of today, and that's the goal. So the goal is to kind of go ahead and get the certification by the end of this workshop. So I'll really appreciate if you all wait till the very end. By the way, we also have a lot of different swag opportunities here. You can see we have like iPad. If I were a student, I would certify myself again to just participate in that giveaways. So here you can see there are multiple giveaways which are mentioned. There are a total of 4 giveaways which you can participate in. You can also see our previous giveaway winners right here. So you can actually see people actually winning these keyboards, Alexa, smartwatches, and whatnot. You can also see our Postman swag winners where they have shared it on LinkedIn, so many more. So yeah, feel free to participate in the social media challenge. We have listed it right here. Here you can see in step 3, we have listed about all the challenges, and you can go ahead and you can participate in these challenges, right? And maximize your chance. But obviously, the first step is to certify. If you don't certify, yeah, you cannot participate in any of these challenges. So let's go ahead and start with step number 1. I have pinned this link in the chat, and Let's Upgrade team will spam this link a little bit in the chat, right? So you all are able to see this. So let's go ahead and complete step number 1, which is to register ourselves on the Postman student program website. So let's go ahead and click on step number 1. It will open a page like this. Let's go ahead and enter our first name and then enter our last name. Last name is optional, so if you don't have one, that's absolutely fine. Let's go ahead and add our email. Nice. Country of residence, wherever you are joining us from. So for me, it's going to be India. Are you in a college? If you're a professional, you can still do the course, so not a problem. You can select no and move further. But majority of the people attending this course is going to be students. So let's say I enrolled in school, university. Yes. Name of the school, Mumbai University. Website of the school, I don't remember, so I'm gonna just Google it very quickly. Nice. Copy link address. Okay. Course program, I studied information technology, so IT. Year of graduation, 20, 20, let's say you have to add whatever year you graduated. I graduated in 2020, but if you are currently studying, then you can mention 2024. If, as a graduation year, if you're graduating this year, or else you can be, extra sure and do it a +1. So if you think you're graduating 2025, write 2026, because you're not sure. Just kidding. Just enter your graduation year and select where did you learn this from. This is from workshop. So select, how did you learn about student programs from workshop. If you want to receive amazing newsletters, check that in, and agree to a privacy policy. You can read more right there. So yeah, where did I come here from? Again, to kind of take you through that journey. We went to this link which is pinned in the chat. We went to step number 1, get yourself registered, and there we clicked on this form, filled it up, and now we are going to hit submit. Right. So as soon as you hit submit, it will show you a thank you page. So you'll see a thank you page like this, which is absolutely fine. So we are going to go ahead and wait for everyone to see this thank you page and then move further. Now, if you have done it till here, give me a thumbs up in the chat, folks. So I want you to kind of do emoji reactions for me. So thumbs up in the chat if you have done this and you see the thank you page. If you are still doing, I'm waiting for you. Let's go ahead and be quick. Awesome. I see a lot of thumbs up. By the way, I was talking about the social media challenges, right? So if you go here, you can see 4 exciting giveaways, which is super awesome. So you can expand on these and you can check out what you have to do, and what you're going to win as a part of the giveaway. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. Awesome. I see a lot of thumbs up, so that's really good. Let's go ahead and kind of start with the academy. By the way, if I kind of go to Gmail, I might have actually I'll receive an email, with the link of like registered email that I've registered on the Postman expert course and so on. So that will arrive in some time. Usually it takes some time to arrive it. So we'll not wait for it because we have the link right here, right? So let's go ahead and click here as they are mentioned. So you can see this hyperlink on the thank you page. Just click on that. And it will take you to Postman Academy. Now, Postman Academy is your one-stop learning platform where you're going to go ahead and learn about the API Fundamental Student Expert Certification. We also have other courses which you can actually kind of see and do. So this is like, consider this like Udemy, where you are actually going ahead and doing a course and you're tracking, we'll do quizzes. So it's a lot more fun. So again, showing you for everyone on the thank you page, you can see, click here to get started with API Fundamental Certification course. So once you click there, it will open and tell you to sign in into Postman. But we don't have a Postman account yet. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and create a free account. So here you can see create free account. If you have a Postman account, you can use that to sign in. If you don't, then you'll have to create a free account. So hit create free account. Once you hit create a free account, it'll ask you for email, then they'll ask you for username, and then they'll ask you for a password, right? So let's go ahead and add an email. The username, I usually tend to, it should be unique. So I usually tend to take my first name. By the way, you can also sign up with Google, which is like the better way, the easy way, right? So you can do that. Now for the password, I'm going to, hide my password and not show you all, obviously, and then stay signed in, right? Verify that I'm a human. Maybe I'm not, maybe I am. Okay. So I'll just make sure that the username is unique, right? And then, added the password, added the email. Hit create a free account and Postman account is created. Now, I told you the easy option is also to sign up with Google, right? Which is also, the easier way. So you can do that. So let me add my name, Ali. What is my role? You can start typing and you will see student in the drop down. So you can select that. Hit continue. And here you can see we have to verify our account first before we can get started. So that is absolutely fine. Let's go here in the email and you can see we got the verification email right here. Hey, Postman student, let's verify email address. Click on verify email and it will, take you to verify your email address. Sometimes it takes a minute more to do the same thing. So in that case, just like wait a little bit, and you should be verified. Okay. So yeah, in case you receive it a little bit later, don't worry. Um, you know, it will get verified. Once it is verified, you can come back to Academy, check the verification status, and boom, you are checked in, right? So yeah, that's super awesome. If you're done till here, give me a thumbs up in the chat, and let's see, where you folks are. Okay. By the way, I'm also gonna sip some water till then. So yeah, yeah, I'm always thirsty. So uh, mention, give me a thumbs up if you're done till here and you can see the academy. Someone says repeat the process. Folks, this is a live video. So instead of me repeating myself again and again, why don't you just drag the video a little bit behind and you can review the same thing I did. uh, doesn't have to be a really crazy thing, right? YouTube has this amazing feature where you can rewind stuff. Yeah, so yeah, don't worry. This will stay here after it is done. So you can obviously come back to the video and check out, individual chapters. I see a lot of thumbs ups. Yeah, so we have already done with step number one. If you joined a little late, remember you have to go do step number one, and then you'll have to sign up on the academy from there only using the thank you page. And then you can join the Discord server for support. So we are right now in academy step. So in academy, you can see there are three different items. There's instructor led, self-study, and then student programs. I want you to click on student programs. So as soon as you click on the student programs, you'll see two courses. The first one is Postman API fundamentals, and that is what we are doing today. We are doing API fundamentals today. So let's click on that, and it will open this particular page, and we need to start here. Okay. So again, I'll hit a back, because I know it is too much to take. So I'll just hit a back, and I'll go and show you again. So once you are on the academy, here on the right hand side, you will see student programs. Hit on that. Sorry. You can go ahead and select Postman API Fundamental Student Expert course. Click on that, and boom, you're right here. Now, what you have to do is you have to just go ahead and get started, and complete the course, right? So click on start here, and you are enrolled into the course. Now you can go ahead and continue and complete this course. We will do it together. You can see there are a lot of lessons. Don't worry, we will actually get all of these done. So yeah, that's the start of it. Let's aim to finish this, by today, so that you all end up with a certificate, for at your name, by the end of this session. So let's hit on get started and start with the very first lesson. There are a total of 36 lessons. We'll try to complete all of them. There are also some fun quizzes, so I'll be interacting with you in the chat. If you find the pace a little fast, try to slow it down. You can slow me down. How? Not by mentioning in the comments, but use the YouTube feature. You can do 0.5, 0.7x, 0.75, from the speed control, right? If the pace is too much for you. Else, if you're good, amazing, right? Let's continue. So let's go ahead and click on the start button and start this course. Now, for people who have joined late, rewind the video a little bit, do the registration process, and then come back right here. Awesome. There are no prerequisites. You don't need to know anything to do this course, because this will cover everything from the basics. Like I've been teaching you about APIs from the very, very basics, right? So yeah, the whole idea of this course is to kind of do a little role play, right? So what we are going to do is you're going to act as a librarian, and then we are going to use library API to build a collection which can be then used by other people, right? As they are kind of coming into the library, asking for books and so on and so forth, right? So that is something which we are going to do a little bit of role playing, right? To kind of, make the storyline perfect. So let's go ahead and, act as a librarian, and then we are going to go through this course, acting like that. So before we continue, we need to register. We have already done this step. Have you seen this form before? Absolutely. We have done this step. So let's skip this step and go to the next step. Cool. Now we have already kind of seen what is an API, application programming interfaces, and we have kind of gone deeper into understanding each of these concepts. But if you look at what are the industries where APIs play an important role, you can see from the full stack developer to the security engineer to the mobile developer to everyone. It's not just one role which uses APIs a lot, but every role uses APIs in their work. And it's not just limited to IT industries, you might think. It's also, you can see in industry here, obviously technology is the major part, but the rest 70%, you will see healthcare, education, retail, real estate, manufacturing, all of these industries also benefit from APIs, so not just IT industry. So that's obviously awesome. Now, we already did a digital restaurant example, right? Where we talked about the waiters, the API, and the server. Awesome. So you're just going to click on next. Okay. Now there are different types of APIs and different architectures for each API which we are using. So when you're talking about types, let's say there are hardware level APIs, software level APIs, and web APIs. Now imagine if you open your Instagram and on Instagram, you want to click a photo of me delivering a session to you, like you're attending a cool session. If you go and you open the UI and you click a photo, you can see that the photo is clicked from the hardware, which is the camera. It captures the light, it captures, all of these details and then converts that into a digital format. And then Instagram kind of has that interface which where your photo will be visible and you can doodle things, you can add a GIF, you can add 10 of different things, right? So there are different forms and shapes of API. Today we are going to learn about web APIs, and in web APIs there are multiple, there are different architectures like GraphQL, SOAP, REST. Yeah, SOAP doesn't mean the soap which you use for bathing, so just FYI. And REST doesn't mean you have to go to sleep right now. These are architectures and they have full form. So REST APIs are representational state transfer. We are going to use REST APIs for this particular workshop. But you can see there are so many different architectures, and the knowledge and the learning curve is huge when you're learning about APIs. But if you start somewhere and you're starting here, so that is awesome. Cool. So let's go ahead and hit next. And it's time for our very first quiz. So, I really find quizzes awesome so that we can actually engage into it, right? I ask you a question, you give me answers, and then that's awesome. So let's go ahead and do the first quiz, which is what are APIs? Two questions. Let's see if we get it right. Question number one. What is an API? Pick the best answer from one of the choices below. A file format for images, Apple's new iPhone programming language, a contract that allows code to talk to other code, a unit used for storage measurement. Give me your options, give me your answers in options in the chat, A, B, C, D. Yes, yes, I see a lot of C in the chat already. Yeah, yeah. Imagine, iPhone's new programming language. Like, if Apple did kind of launch that, they would charge you to name the variable. They would charge you to, kind of run the code. And if you encounter a bug, pay $100 and resolve it. Yeah, I'm not talking about Apple, the company. They'll sue me, so Apple, the fruit. If you have eaten it, it's very nice. Okay, so let's go with the majority type, option number C. So option number C is there. Now, what are some different types of APIs? Now, this should be easy. This is a multi-choice question, so you can mention A, B, C, D. So A is REST APIs, GraphQL, gRPC, and electric sockets. I think electric sockets might be a nice name to have, an architecture around. Don't you think? No? Okay, I see ABC most of the time. Absolutely, that's very right. ABC is the right answer. That is super awesome, folks. Let's hit submit and see if you are right. Oh, yes, you are right. We got 2 of 2, 100%, like score. Obviously, it's an online exam, so everyone gets 100% score. But don't worry, we don't evaluate you on the quizzes. Even if you, do like a wrong quiz, it's absolutely fine because we are not evaluating on that. What we are evaluating you on is the practicals, which will be, which will be commencing in like next 5 minutes. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and hit next. Awesome. Now we talked about Postman at length, and what Postman allows you to do is to kind of create, the whole holistic approach to kind of work with an API. So you don't just get to do few things with an API, but you get to do everything from an end-to-end perspective within Postman. And why Postman was invented in the very first place was because it was very difficult to work with APIs, and use call to kind of share data between teammates and do a lot of things. And that's why Postman got invented, and Postman kind of came up with this beautiful UI where you could kind of send a request, receive a response, and you can see the status code, response time, response body, and so many different things, right here within the same UI. So yeah, that's about Postman. We also have something called as an API first world novel, where you can kind of go ahead and read about our vision about an API first world. So our vision is to have 100 million developers connected through APIs, and APIs take the center stage as primary building blocks in the API first world. And our whole goal is to have that APIs are considered as number one priorities. APIs are easily consumable and they are easily discoverable. You can go ahead and check out this novel. If you ever meet me in person, do ask me for it. I have copies which I can share with you. By the way, the Slack challenge is still going on, so make sure you participate in that. Okay, so let's go next. Quiz number 2. One question only. Let's see the question. Postman has a vision for an API first world. In the API first world, APIs are considered number one priorities. API will make you famous on TikTok. APIs are easily consumable. API stands for Application Postman Interface, or APIs are easily discoverable. Tell me your answers in ABCD. I already see a few answers right here, which is awesome. Waiting for a few more. Yes, yes. Yes, APIs are considered as number one priority. Obviously, APIs are easily consumable and APIs are easily discoverable. But don't you think APIs will make me famous on TikTok, like, with the kind of humor I have? No, no. My PJ jokes. Yeah, for sure, for sure. But TikTok is kind of banned in India, so that's why I'm not famous. Else I would be like, world famous. Okay, so let's hit submit, and there we go. 100%. Rate. Obviously, I'll be tired to see 100% every single time because you all are helping me, and don't tell anyone else, right? That you're helping me solve these quizzes. Okay, let's go next. Okay, now it's time for diving into the hands-on exercise. So this is where things get interesting because till now we have been doing theory, I've been doing quizzes, but now it's time to go ahead and actually, kind of build something, right? So let's go ahead and, create a workspace and, sign up for Postman. So we have already signed up for Postman, by the way. So we need to kind of just go ahead and create a workspace, right? You can see that this is a very simple process, and the name of the workspace they have also given. So we'll use the same name. So let's go, to a new tab, type postman.com, and that will open the Postman UI. Now you might already be signed in because we are signing in using the same account, in the academy. So yeah, if you're not signed in, quickly sign up and you are in Postman. Now let's go ahead and let's create, the workspace. Now, how do you kind of go ahead and create a workspace? Very simple. If you are here in Postman, you can go here in the workspaces and click on the drop down like this, and then click on the create workspace button, right? So that is a very simple way of going ahead and creating a workspace. Now, what's a workspace? Workspace is where all of your work is going to reside, right? So everything you're doing will reside right here in the workspaces. You can create monitors, you can create collections and whatnot. Now, workspaces also have multiple templates which you can, reuse from, but for our use case, we'll go ahead with blank and hit next, and then enter the name of the workspace. Now, remember the name I have copied from, Academy. So I'll just close this tab. And here you can see, in Academy, please keep the Academy open because we are going to copy a lot of things on there, right? It's like our documentation. So let's go ahead and create it a personal workspace because we just want ourselves to access it right now. It's not ready, right? Not ready to publish. So once it is ready to publish, we can make it public, but right now we'll just keep it with us. Awesome. So the workspace is created, which is nice. Now let's go ahead and create a collection where all our requests are going to reside. So give me a thumbs up if your workspace was created very easily. For people who are not able to, again highlighting, go to postman.com. You know, it's very easy. Then go to workspaces and then hit on create workspaces. Once you hit create workspaces, you will see an option, select blank, and then go ahead and copy paste the name from the academy and you're good. Perfect. I see a lot of thumbs up in the chat, which gives me confidence to move on. So let's go ahead and create a collection. So let's hit next and go ahead and create a collection. By the way, I have videos of me inside academy explaining each lesson and each task in detail. So you're technically, if you are not able to follow along with me, you can actually watch a video of me inside a video of me inside academy. Yeah, that's low level inception, but still better. So let's go ahead and create a collection. So how do you create a collection? Very simple way. We are going to use the shortcut on the left, and the name of the collection is going to be Postman Library API v2. So let's go here, and on the left top you can see this small plus icon right here. Let's go ahead, click on that. Once you click on that, it will ask you to kind of select a type of collection. We'll select a blank collection. And then it will ask you for a name of the collection. So again, we know Postman Library API v2. That is going to be the name of the collection. Remember, the name doesn't matter that much. It is fine if you name it other things as well, but let's follow the naming convention so that you don't get any errors, right? You never know, though we are not checking it. But yeah. So now we have created a workspace and we have created a collection, which is super awesome. Now it's time to go ahead and do our very first API request, right? So go ahead and tell the API to fetch few details for us. Now let's go ahead and add a new request and we'll name it get books. Okay. And the method is going to be get, and then the request URL is going to be this. Now, don't worry at all. I'm going to explain you what this get is, what this request URL is, and everything else in detail. So let's go ahead, and on the left hand side, you can see add a request here, hyperlink. Click on it, and it will add a new request. Let's name it. Okay. So what we are going to name it is get books. Nice. Now let's go ahead, select the method as get. Now there are different methods which you can use. Get method is used to retrieve information, post to add information, put and patch method to update information, and then delete method to delete information. I'll talk a little bit more about these methods as we go into detail, but right now let's add the URL. Here you can see the URL https and /books. Let's copy that, go here, paste it, save it, and then hit send. Nice. You will see that you receive a response saying 200 okay, which means the request was successful. And you can see in the response that you get the JSON of all the books which are available in the library, right? So all the books you see as a response, right? So yeah, just to give you some context, let me highlight key pointers here, right? So while you're going ahead and creating a request, this is for creating a request. You are naming the request right here. Then you are selecting a method right here, adding the URL, and then hitting the send button. Make sure to save everything. Please save everything because this collection will be used for you to get a certificate. So save everything. Now, once you hit the send button, what you receive is a response from the server. And this is the response code. 200 means our request was successful. 201, 200 family means, it was a success. 300 redirection, 400 client error, 500 family server error. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And then you can see the response. You can also save this response for others to see later on. So they don't have to send this request again, right? And then here you can see the body. which is basically where the data is, right? And the data is the new gold. It is the new oil. So you can actually see, the data all here. You can select different versions. Pretty version basically means, it will highlight the syntax properly and show you a prettier version of the response. If your response is in HTML, you can also click on preview and that will show you, the preview of the response as well. Nice. By the way, you can also check out the console on the bottom left. The console on the bottom left will actually tell you, as we're sending a request, it will also show you, the behind the scenes. Okay. So nice. Let's clear all of this. And we sent our very first request successfully. Now let's understand what is happening behind the scenes. The very first thing we need to understand is about methods. So there are 4 methods, as I mentioned earlier, which are basics. There are more than 4 methods, obviously, but these are basic methods like get, which will help you to retrieve data. Then post, which will help you to send data. Then put or patch, which will help you to update data. And then delete to delete data from the server, right? And all of these methods, are used by us, will be used by us to kind of do the CRUD operation on the library API. And you know what is CRUD? Yes, create, read, update, delete. Exactly. I see someone mentioned in the chat. So awesome. Nice. Okay. So you can see that we can kind of go ahead and we can kind of perform this using a very simple method. And then after the method, you can come back to the URL itself. And if you look at the URL is also divided into 3 different parts. And if you look at it, the very first part is the protocol. Then the second part is the host actually. So if you, let's come here. This is the host, which is basically the IP address sometimes, the domain name, and then comes the path where exactly you are looking for that resource. So here we are looking for books. So the path becomes /book. Um, the host can be obviously different. You can actually have a different protocol while working with an API. So that is something which you can definitely change as per your API. Let me show you an example of the URL as well. So let's say I go to google.com, right? Which is nice. I can see the Google homepage. Now I can go and hit forward and I can go to Drive. Nice. It opens Google Drive. Now I can go further and I can type, Gmail, and it will open my inbox, right? So you can see we received this email confirming our registration, right? So what we understand from this is the end of this URL basically tells us where the resource is located, right? Even though google.com is like one entity, there are different paths for different products. Exactly like, you will go and do Instagram. The profile is a different path, and then post is a different part, and so on and so forth. Awesome. I hope you get this information. It's very, very simple. And then in response, I told you about the status codes. 200 is success family. So 200, 201, 204, these all belong to 200 family. Then 300 family is redirection. 400 family is your error. You committed an error. Server is all right. But you did not, let's say, make the request properly as per the server's requirement, or you did not add a proper authorization, or you do not have a proper permission. And then comes server error, which is 500 error, which means you did everything right, but then the server crashed and it gave you, let's say, 500, which is internal server error, or 502, which means bad gateway, and so on and so forth, right? So you'll see these status codes again and again. Don't worry, you don't need to remember, because in Postman, if you come here and if you hover over it, it will tell you what is wrong and what is the status code all about. Nice. Let's go next and finalize this lesson with a quiz. So you already saw this request response pattern. We kind of talked about it at length. Let's go ahead and attempt our third quiz. Quiz number 3, your first API request. 2 questions. Let's go ahead and answer them. Question number 1. You're given 3 blocks of text. See image below. Each block is a part of a request URL. Which of the answer choices below list these 3 parts in the correct order? So the first one is HTTPS, then the domain name, and then the path. So let's see. Host, no, proxy is not there. Protocol is there. Host is there. Proxy, the last part is the path. So the correct answer is Yes, yes, mention. B or D? D. That's nice. A lot of people guessed it right. Okay. Now this is going to be a little confusing, so I'm going to give you a time to observe this. So these are the status code families. Tell me which one is the right in the response. Come on, be quick, folks. Yes, yes. A little tricky. So the first one is success, then redirection, then client error, then server error, right? So success, redirection, client, and server. That's nice. A lot of you guessed it right, but some of you did not. So that's fine. Okay. So congratulations, you have completed the quiz. Claps. Okay. Let's go next. Awesome. So now that we have the base URL, we have the URL set up, we have everything set up. Let's go ahead and learn about an important feature in Postman, which is variables. Now, variables enable you to store some value and reuse it later on. So you can go ahead and save the domain name as a variable, so you don't have to kind of try and again retrieve it, right? So let me show you how we are going to set a new variable called as a base URL and reuse it again and again. So let me zoom this in a little bit, and what I'm going to show you is how to set a variable. So you start from M and all the way till H, you kind of select the URL, right? Once you select that, you will see set as variable option available on the top. Yes, do you see that option? Set as variable option? You will see that option. So once you see that, click on set as variable, set as new variable, name it base URL, and the scope is going to be collection level variable. Okay. So very simple. Again, I'll show you. You start from M, and you select all the way till H. Then you will see this hover of set as variable. Click on it. Click on set as new variable. Name it base U capital, please, URL. And then the scope is going to be the collection level variable. Hit on set variable, and that is set. So now you can see that the base variable, base URL variable has the value of our domain name, which is set on the collection level. In case we ever want to change it, we can actually change it, and it should be absolutely fine. Remember to save the request before you move further, right? Because that is very, very important. Okay. Now, where can I find this variable? You can click on the name of the collection and click on variables, and you can actually find this value of the variable. So you can click on the name of the collection and then variable section, and then you can change it later on if this is not right. Make sure it looks exactly like this. If it doesn't, change it so that it looks good. Okay, let's erase all of this. Looks good. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you set it up properly and it looks exactly like this. Yes, yes, yes. Give me a thumbs up in the chat. By the way, thumbs up emojis are getting boring. Let's try something else. Give me an orange heart in the chat. Yeah, I also want a heart. But don't give me a red one. Give me an orange one. Yeah, that would be much better. Okay. Looks good, looks good. Okay, nice, nice. Keep the energy flowing. Perfect. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about query params. So now that we have done, a little bit of, kind of querying, receiving response, let's go ahead and talk about query params. Now, query params allow you to kind of send some data with your request as a parameter, right? So you can, let's say, mention some things. For example, if you look at this particular example, where if you are going to google.com and you're searching for something, you can see search as a query param, and then it will take you, search as a path, and then queue as a query param, which will take the parameter postman, and then go ahead and search Google and give you the response, something like this, which is super awesome, right? Obviously. So let's go ahead and try to learn about query params and do some hands-on exercises. Okay. So now, by the way, the library, the Postman library documentation is very detailed. It is available. You can actually go ahead and look it out. But for our use case, I have read that document. So I'm going to kind of show you what are the query parameters. But when you're doing it solo, do check out the library documentation. It is very detailed. So if you look here, you can see the params which we have available. So we have genre, which is fiction. Then we have checked out, which is a value which will tell us if the book is available or not. And then there is search, which basically matches against author or title. Super nice. So let's go ahead and kind of try out these query params. So in Postman, we are going to go ahead and add a query param called as genre and add the value as fiction. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's come here and in the query params, let's add the query param as John. So let's go ahead and add genre and then add value as fiction, right? So now that this is added, we will be able to get the response as only fiction books. We should see that, right? So yeah, but we don't want to make changes right here in our main request, right? Because we only have get books here. So let's delete this and let's create a new request, right? So we'll use the duplicate method to create a new request to do this practical. So go to get books, click on these three dots and click on duplicate. Nice. Now go here, get fiction books, right? So add the request name as get fiction books, which is nice. Okay. So again, for people who did not understand what I did, I'll do it again. I'll just show you what I did. So I went to get books. It looks good. I saved this request first, right? And then I created a duplicate of this request. So go to three dots, click on duplicate. And here I named it get fiction books. Nice. Now I need to go here in query params and add the key as genre and the value as fiction. Once you add that, you save this request and hit send. And you will see that in the response, all the genre will be fiction only. So yeah, it will filter, all the books which has genre as fiction and give us the response of these books where genre is fiction. Nice. Absolutely. Now remember, you can add more than that. So here you can actually see all of that. So here you can see we kind of duplicate the existing request and create a new request and name it get fiction books, and then go ahead and do the genre. Nice. Now let's add another request and name it multiple query let's add another query params and add it inside the same request. And here we are going to add something called as checked out, which will tell us if the book is available or not, right? So you can select checked out as true or false. So let's go ahead and add that. So let's select checked out, add it in the key, in the value, add the value of it, which is false. So we want all the books which are available. Save it, send it, and now if you receive all the responses, these are fulfilling both these conditions where genre is equals to fiction and checkout equal to false. You can see the URL changes automatically, so make sure you save it before you move further. Awesome. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you did this practical all right. Yeah, I saw some confusion regarding that. Don't worry, because I made the changes right here, but you don't have to. So as I mentioned, this first request should get all the books, which is getting all the books for us. No query params, right? Save this. And then create a copy of this. And then create a get fiction books where we get, fiction books from genre. And then the checked out is false, meaning that the book is available. Awesome. Okay. So I hope this is nice. I see some, thumbs up in the chat, which is super nice. I also see some orange hearts and some weird emojis. Yeah, Okay. If you don't understand, you can watch this video and understand it much better, right? Yeah, again, I mentioned this is a YouTube live. So you can pause it, rewind it, replay it. Everything is possible. Okay, let's go next. Awesome. So now that we know this, let's go ahead and add a path parameter. Now remember, we talked about query params, but path params are a little different. So path params get embedded directly into the URL, not as a key value pair, but directly the value gets embedded into the URL. So if you look at this table, it will show you the difference between a path variable and a query parameter. A path variable, on the other hand, is directly added without a key. But query params, you can see there's a key and then there's a value. Now they both have different use cases, and you can actually see other companies using it very differently. Totally depends on your use case. But yeah, see, there are just some conventions. So some API might ask you to pass an ID directly, or else some APIs might ask you to pass it like this, which is absolutely fine, doesn't change a lot of things. But there are two different ways of doing things. Okay, so let's go next and add a new request and get one single book by ID. So let's go ahead, hit next. Here, oh, I hit next two times, so let's go back a little. Okay, let's add a get a book by ID, and here we are going to kind of use uh, path parameter and add a ID and fetch a single book. So just below get fiction books, let's go ahead and add a new request. Now, how do you do that? You click on these three dots on the Postman library API v2. If you hover over this, you will see these three dots. Click on them, and then here you will see add request. So go ahead and select that option of add request. Awesome. Make sure this request is named as get book by ID, which is nice. So let's go ahead and add that name right here. Okay, perfect. Now that it is added, let's go ahead and add the URL. Now remember, for the URL, we will refer to the Academy, and there they have given base URL /books and /:ID. Now remember, here you can see params, there's only query params available. Path params is not available. But as soon as you paste this URL and you add this forward ID, you will see path variable being available in Postman. Now that is because Postman allows you to have that UI of key value pair, even though it is sent only as a value. Okay. So yeah, let's go back. Here they have given us the alphanumeric ID. So let's paste that, hit enter, save this request obviously. So let's, save this request, Control S, and send this request. Now, if you send this request, you can see that we can see, this particular book, if you're going to see is, and, it retrieves only one book, because now we are using a unique ID for retrieving a single book, right? So yeah, that's the beauty of using path param. We already did 3 requests, which is super awesome. So let's finish this request quickly. Go ahead and execute this. And tell me, how do you feel about this, right? In the chat. By the way, for people who are nerds, if you want to really know what happens behind the scene, you can actually see this console on the bottom. You can click on it. And once you click on it, you can actually see how the requests are sent. Just to zoom this in and show you, you can see this is the key value pair of how the request is sent. But then when I send the ID, it is directly sent. There's no key attached here. Even though in the UI you see it, that's for your ease, but it is not sent to the server. Nice, nice, nice. Repeat, repeat, no repeat, folks. Rewind. Yeah. Use the features when YouTube is providing you with features. Why not? Huh? Okay. Nice, nice, nice. I see a lot of you doing it. Perfecto. Quiz number 4. We are already halfway through. Okay, let's go next. And query params versus path params. 3 questions. That's the most as of now. Okay. What type of parameter is ID below? This should be easy. We just did this. No? Yes, this should be easy. Yeah. Let's go ahead and select the option. Let's go ahead and select path parameter. Hit next. Nice. How many query params are present in this URL? Yeah, yeah. Tell me. 0, 1, 2, 3, 2. Absolutely. Yes. Nice. Yeah, I thought you said option number 2. No, yeah, we will mention A in the chat. Okay. You defeated me there. Okay, how many path params are documented in this endpoint? Now this is a little tricky. Let's see if you get this one. If you get this one, that's nice. By the way, social media challenge is still going on. So make sure you're participating there. Step number 3. We have social media challenge still going on X, on Twitter. So participate, participate, participate. We'll announce the winners, by the way, in 2 days. You'll get an email if you're selected as a winner. How awesome that is, right? Cool. Uh, 0. Yes. People say 1. No, 0. Why? Because it doesn't have any path parameters. It comes with colon. Remember path parameter double colon / ID, right? Exactly. Let's hit submit. Perfect. 100% response rate, which is what we need. Okay. So we are done till here. We have done all the read operations. Now it's time to run the create, update, and delete operations. You can see we have already completed half the course 1 hour into the session. 1 more hour and we will finish this course. So stay with me. Don't go anywhere, right? And let's take a little break. Now we are not going anywhere, so don't leave. Break means we'll just hear. um, Tell me what is your favorite food dish from your regional place, because I love to travel, and whenever I'm traveling I love to eat. So tell me your favorite dish, which is the specialty in your city, in your state. For me, that's vada pav of Mumbai. The best, can't compete. Never, ever, ever. Yeah, and Delhi vada pav sucks. Here I said it on a video. Okay. Yeah, because it's not your dish. I see a lot of items in the chat. Yes, nice. Okay, yeah, I love Gujarati thalis, Rajasthani thalis, which are awesome. Yeah, biryani, Hyderabad, perfect for sure. Then what do you have in South? Yeah. I specifically love the South thalis. They are super, super awesome. So many items. Yeah, there's a break going on, right? So if you're, coming right now and watching this video, like, why are you talking about food? Because we are doing a 1 minute break before we move on to the second part. um, wow, so many options in the chat, which is super awesome. We have had, and I also love Andhra biryani. That's like a different style. So when I'm in Bangalore, I'm usually going around and hopping onto that. So that's something. Dosa all time favorite. Chole bhature, come on, yeah. Always. If you go to Delhi, you don't eat that. I'm not sure what you're going to eat. Lucknow is famous for all kinds of things. Yes, nice, nice. Cool. That's so awesome to learn about your culture a lot more, right? Super awesome. Thank you for participating in this break. Let's go back and add a bug. Cool. So till now, we have done all the read request, which is nice. Now let's go ahead and do create on the server. So we are going to add a book. Now to add a book, it's very simple. Whenever you're adding a book, so imagine these requests as imagine these methods as that, right? Get is retrieving, post is adding, put patch is updating, and delete method is deleting. So if you're participating in this challenge, imagine if you're sending a tweet, you're actually using a post request. I am reading your tweet and awarding you, let's say selecting a winner. So I'm using a get request. I might add query parameters where I'm checking for the tags and stuff, right? So I'm using query parameters as well. Then if you're rich, you have Twitter Blue and you made a mistake in the tweet, you can edit it and you can use footer patch method. But if you're poor like me, you will go ahead and delete the tweet and rewrite the tweet using, delete method and then post method again, right? So imagine, that's a very simple way of explaining these methods, right? So let's go ahead and add a new request, and the drill of how to add a new request. So three dots, add request, and the request will be add book. Nice. Now the method is going to be post exactly right. Why? Because we just discussed why. And the URL is going to be the same URL which we used earlier, right? So base URL /books. Now save this request and send it for me. If you send it, you will see that you received something called as 400, which says the server could not understand the request, right? So 400 bad request. Now, why is it a bad request? If you read the body, it says must be an object, right? Yes. So when I'm sending something to the server, do I need to add a body? Do I need to provide data? Absolutely. And I have not done that. So let's go ahead and do it. So let's go here, go to body, and click on raw. And here we are going to add the body, here as a key value pair, as a JSON, JavaScript object notation. Now I don't know what the body is like. So where I'm going to look at, tell me, I don't know how the body looks like, right? For sure. Documentation? Yes, no? Yes, absolutely. Documentation. So let's go ahead and look at the documentation right here. And the documentation says that this is the body which you can use. So let's copy this, go to Postman and paste it right here. Again, what I did here was I went ahead, added a request called as add book, selected the method as post, added the base URL, and in the body selected raw, and in the drop down selected JSON. JSON represents JavaScript object notation. It is simple key value pair, right? Nice. Now let's go ahead and add the name of the book. You can use the same book, or I usually prefer to add my own book. So I'll add Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is like my favorite book. It is written by Robert. So Robert, it belongs to finance category, and it was published in 1997. Not these many years, 1997, right? You can also publish your own book if you want to add your own book. That's absolutely up to you, right? But yeah, let me go ahead and hit this send request. Make sure you save it before you hit send. So save and send. Now it says again, now the status code is different. Can you tell me earlier what was the status code? Yeah, in the chat, please. Earlier, the status code was 400, right? Which means bad request. But now it's 401, which means that invalid or missing credentials, we are not allowed to add details to the server. Now, why is that? Absolutely. Security. I cannot allow everyone to add their books because, people are crazy. They'll add, crazy bugs. So we have encountered 401. No worries at all. We will resolve that. Okay. So let's go ahead and resolve that by adding on authorization. So let's click next. Let's add authorization. So here we are going to go ahead and add, get an API key and then add it in the header. So let's go ahead and add it. So click on headers. And here in the key, add API dash key. And in the value, add Postman rules. If I'm not wrong, this is how it should be. Exactly. API dash key and Postman rules. Save it. And now if you send it, you can see that it created 201 and it gave us a new ID for our book. Now, do you want to verify if this was really added? If yes, copy the name, copy the ID of the book, go to get books by ID, paste this ID right here, save it and hit send. And you can see this book was added right now, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? Exactly. So we added our own book on the server using a post method. Perfect. If you are able to, Give me a orange heart, not a thumbs up. Orange heart in the chat. Let's see that rolling. By the way, you can also watch this video in case you are not able to. Yes, yes, yes. Nice. Still stuck? Rewind a little bit. You might be able to help yourself. Nice. Okay. Let's go next. Now that we have seen this, let's go ahead and use Postman auth. So imagine if I want to do this, add authorization for all these update operations also, right? And delete operations also. So in that case, we'll need to add this on every request. Is it feasible? Absolutely not. So what if I go ahead and add that at a collection level from where it is inherited by default for every request? Would that be nice? Absolutely. So we don't want to repeat ourselves, right? We want to reduce our work. So let's do that. So let's delete this header from add a book, save this request, make sure you save this request. And right now you can see that there are 7 headers, right? Which is absolutely fine. Let's click on the name of the collection right here. So you can go ahead and click on the name of the collection. Once you click here, you can see variables. Authorization. Remember variables last time we saw? We have set a variable. Now here, this time we are setting authorization. So click on authorization. Once you click there, you will see no auth available right now, but we need to select basic auth. So click on no auth, not basic auth. We need to select API key. Scroll down a little bit. Oh, I've zoomed in too much. Scroll down and see API key. Now, once you see API key, let's go ahead and add the value. Remember the value API-key. Remember the key API-key. Remember the value Postman rules. Nice. So I'll zoom this out a little bit so that you all can see it. Let me erase all this and redraw it, right? So number one, click on the name of the collection, click on authorization. Auth type is going to be API key. And then this is going to be the value of it, right? Hit save, and then we'll go ahead and check out our add book request. Okay, let's clear this. Let's see it save, go back to add book. And now you can see from 7, it became 8 header. Why? Because we added the API key on the collection level, and you can see API-key, Postman rules, which is added on the collection level in the authorization. So you're going to change it. We can go to the collection level authorization and change it. Make sure you delete the previous API key and value because that will be redundant and you will get an error. Nice. Quiz time. So I hope you all are able to do this, right? If yes, give me a thumbs up in the chat and we'll move on to quiz number 5, which is the second last quiz actually. Yeah, then we have quiz number 6 and that's all. Yes, let's do this. Let's do this. Awesome. Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. What could happen if you don't include authorization in your API call? Select all that which applies. Your computer can explode. I remember a very crazy joke, but I'm not going to say it. Uh, your APIs will have completely open endpoints that anyone can access publicly. Unauthorized people will be able to access data they shouldn't. Bot should be able to flood an API with thousands of calls per second and shut it down. Yes, yes, yes. Second, yes. Third, yes. Fourth, yes. Absolutely. So you need to secure your APIs. If not, then anyone can remotely control and do crazy things. Cool. Your computer is not going to explode. Okay, let's go next. You send this request to Postman and get the response as 401. We did get 401. What does that mean? What is the error here? The path changed. There's not enough storage space in the server. There are no issues. The request needs authorization. The request needs authorization. If there was no place, then that would be 500 error. Awesome. Let's hit submit. Nice. Okay. Quiz is done. Now it's time to go ahead and continue our variables lesson, which we did earlier, where we were saving stuff as variable, right? So remember the base URL, which we saved as a variable, which we are using right now. Now, whenever we add a new book, we'll have to copy this ID again and again and go back to get books by ID to, paste it, which is not the intended workflow. So what if I could save this ID as a variable using scripting and then retrieve it later on? Would that be nice? Absolutely. It will save you so much of work. So let's go ahead and do that. Here you can see Postman supports different variable scopes, which you can kind of go ahead and work around with. We are working on collection level variables, but you can see environment level variables, data variables, and local variables as well. So let's go ahead and set up a variable programmatically. Now you can do in 2 days, sorry, in two ways. The first one is immediately before a request is sent, which is pre-request script, and the second way is post-response script, meaning that after running the request. In our case, we need to set it after we run the request, right? So we need to set it at post-response script. So let's go ahead and add it. By the way, to understand the code, it's very simple, very, very simple. Let me explain it to you. So here you can see, obviously, this is simple JS stuff, so that's fine. We don't want to kind of go overboard with that. But if you go scroll a little bit, you can see that the code, the code is very simple. It is to kind of go ahead and add, like set variable and get variable to kind of work around with, right? So the very first step is going to be to kind of go ahead and add a script. So let's go to Postman. Let's go to scripts. And here you can see post response. We can write any script right here. Now, the very first scripting for us is going to be console.log pm.response.json because we want to see the response, in the log, in the console. Okay. So save this, run this. Once you run this, nothing crazy happens. But if you open console on the bottom left, just watch me do this, because this is not part. And the next request will be part. So here you can see that now the response is itself logged in the console, not just the request. Request and response both are logged in the console. So yeah, that is something obviously you could do here. You could write scripting and that will work. Nice. So let's go ahead and write some awesome script. So here we are going to kind of get the value of ID and set it as a collection level variable named as ID. So we are going to use dot set method to kind of set that. And let's go ahead and do that. So if you go down a little bit, you can see here constant ID. So we are defining a variable called as ID. And then here we are taking the response of the JSON, bm.response.json dot ID, retrieving the ID, and then saving it using the set collection variables method. So let's copy this code, come back to Postman, delete everything and paste this. Save it. And once you send this code, it will create a new variable called as ID because it does not exist right now, right? And it will update the value of this ID to that. Let's try it. Hit send and you can see nothing happens. But if you go to the name of the collection and you go to variables, you will see the new variable being created called as ID and it has a current value available. So what is the use case of that? Well, if you go back to the collection itself, you go back here, and if you go back to get books by ID, the value you can replace that now with a variable called as ID. And now you don't have to copy paste it. So whenever you add a new book, the ID will have the latest value and you will be able to retrieve the latest book. Nice, nice. Yeah, so you don't have to actually update this, but I've updated it, why not? But you can definitely, kind of paste this code in the post response script, make sure to save it and hit send, and you're all set. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to take a pause a little and wait for you all to finish till here because now we are going to do a halfway check. It's not really a halfway check because it's almost like 80% of the course. So it's not really halfway check. It's like a full-fledged test, like almost 80%. So I'm gonna wait for you folks and then we'll do halfway test together. Okay. Okay. So now let's go ahead and yeah, I see a lot of emojis in the chat, which is super awesome. Nice, nice. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Now make sure you're saving all the requests, right? Because if you see an orange dot here, which means that it is not saved, So make sure you're saving everything and just close, a lot of these tabs which are open already on your Postman, window. Um, and yeah, we have these, all 4 requests set up exactly like this. Okay. So let's go ahead and test this collection locally. Now, how we are going to do that is by forking another collection. So basically, this is a public collection which is available. So we are going to create a fork copy of this collection, right? So let's go ahead and click on this link. It will open a new tab where the collection is available. And here you can see this is the test collection which we are referring to. And here we need to create a copy of this. By the way, I can all see you folks here. You can see plus 99, which means all of you are right here, which is awesome. And it keeps increasing. But yeah, you can actually see a lot more people joining in, which is nice. Okay. Um, so here we need to create a fork copy of this collection, right? So how we are going to supposed to do that? Here you can see the fork button. And forking basically means we are creating a copy of this. Remember the fork from GitHub if you have ever kind of done that. Tell me what does that mean, by the way? Yes, yes. Yeah, it basically means you're creating a copy, but it is a linked copy, not just a copy, right? So if someone updates the major collection, you can always pull requests, pull changes, and it should work exactly like that. So we have added a fork label to make it, distinguish from our master label, from our master collection in case they are both in the same workspace. Select the workspace of Postman API Fundamental Student Expert, and then hit fork collection. Now, once you hit fork collection, you can actually see that the collection, it creates a new copy, which is our copy, and it is available in our workspace. Nice. Again, to repeat this, click on this link of test collection, click on test collection, click on fork, go click on fork the collection, add the label, select the workspace, and hit fork collection. It will automatically create a copy of this in your own workspace, which we are working in currently. And now we can test our collection against this. Now observe very, very carefully. Okay. Now don't do these things with me. Just observe right now. And then you do it. Okay. So that way you'll be able to perfectly align it. No worries, we have 30 minutes still and we'll be able to finish this course absolutely on time. Okay. If you bear with me. Okay. So let's go to Postman Library API v2. And I'm going to zoom this a little bit, not a lot, because we'll have a pop-up available. So now on the Postman Library API v2, what I want you to do is click on these 3 dots. And once you click on these 3 dots, you'll see the share option available. Click on the share option, the very first option, right? So click on share and it will open a window like this. Now here, I want you to click on via API, right? So click on via API and you can see a URL to be generated, right? So hit on create a new key and it will generate a new key for you. Okay. Now what is this? This is basically generating an API endpoint for your collection, where if you kind of, use this endpoint, you can actually see the JSON format of your collection. So we can test against it. What better way of awarding you a certificate via an API call while learning about APIs, right? Which is super nice. Okay. Nice. So we have the URL available. Now let's go to test collection. So again, showing you the second method, still not done. So go to test collection, click on variables, and you will be able to see the submission variable right here, right? So in the initial value, paste your, value, and in the current value, paste your value. Save this, and you are nice. Okay. So do this for me quickly. Quickly do this for me. The step I just did. I'll show it once again. Go to Postman Library API v2, click on these 3 dots, click on share via API, generate key, copy this URL. It's read only, so no worries. And yours is a personal workspace, so no worry at all. Copy this, go to collection test, click on variable, initial value, and the current value, save it, and you are set. Nice. Now, if you, if you are set, you need to go to halfway check request, click on halfway check request and hit send. So run it because this submission variable should be set. So if you hover over it, you will actually be able to see that it is set, which is nice. So let's run this request. Okay. So let's go ahead. Oops, sorry. I actually dragged this. No problem. We need to run halfway check request. Okay. So let's clear all the drawing and run the halfway check request. Hit send. Now you will see the response, but we are not interested in that. We are interested in test results. Okay. So what we are more interested in is test results. So you can see we are passing 16 on 16. Yes, we are passing 16 on 16 test results, which is super nice. Let's click on it and you can see that we have passed all these results, you know, and we have completed the halfway check. Nice, nice. Exactly. Yes. Okay. Tell me how much did you get from 16? Yes, yes. You got 10, you got 5. How much did you get from 16? A lot of people got 16. That's nice. Someone got 14, 12. Okay. Okay. So if you get error, so let me show you like an example of error you will get. So let's say if I go here in halfway check and if I'm sending this, you can see that if I'm receiving an error of 15 on 16, I can click on this field and I can see the error. So error says that the get books is a get request. It should be a get request. So what is the fix? Fix is to change the method of method to get method. So expected post, but it was a get method. Expected get, but it was basically post, right? So we know that the error is in the get books request. So let's go to get books request. Let's go to get books request. And here the method is post. No, it should be get. Okay, let's save this. And now if I come back to halfway check and if I resend this, it should work and tell me that the error is fixed. So every error solution is within the error only. Okay. So you can read the test and you can see, oh, I see a lot of promotion in the chat. By the way, there comes step number 2. Join the Discord server and ask for support, right? Um, so yeah, sorry, step number 1 only in that point number 3. You can see join the Discord server. So you can join the Discord server and you can ask for support. We have comprehensive support available for you folks, right? So you can basically, join the server and just, like verify that, oh, wow. Okay. Click on the object that can be seen as a sample image. Do I think am I really a robot, is it? Because I can't yeah. Oh, object. It's a laptop, is it? Or it's a dog. It's a dog, probably. Dude, this human, even humans are not able to solve it, is it? Okay. Let's try it. Let's try it. Nice, nice. I'm not a robot. Okay, nice. Okay, but you can join here. I'm not going to give you my date of birth for sure, but I'll just randomly select. I was born in 1946, which is crazy. I don't want to create an account, but you can once you join here, you can actually see a lot of support. You can especially see API fundamentals here, which has like all the responses for your error code. So you can go ahead and check that out. Okay. You can also search for it. So for example, if you're getting request in get books, you can search for it and you can find the solution for it. Okay. So I hope the support is educate for people who are facing errors. Nice. Now we don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to skip past this. And if you're still facing error, Discord is the right way to get support. There's also a WhatsApp group which you can join, by the way. So if you come here, you can also see there's a WhatsApp group right here. You can join that as well for receiving one-to-one support. Awesome. Quiz number 6, intro to variables. Choose all that answer that apply. Postman allows you to save values as variables so that you can spend more time reading the API first world, reuse values to keep your work dry, cool off your computer, hide sensitive values like API key from shared publicly. Obviously, hide API keys, hide sensitive values like API keys, and reuse values to keep your work dry. Don't repeat yourself. Cooling up your computer is fine. You can use an AC for that. Or you can, stop watching reels and, make time for reading API first novel. Nice. Now, the last two requests for this collection is going to be check out our book and delete our book. So let's go ahead and update our book. So update the checkout status as true. So let's go ahead and add a new request below add a book. So let's go here in the Postman library API v2. I still see people asking for solving errors. Folks, I cannot solve your errors, while teaching. Please ask in Discord. Please ask others or try to troubleshoot it yourself, man. You're developers. Come on. Level up your game. Learn to troubleshoot. Okay. Let's add a request. Name it update book, or you can also name it checkout book. Checkout book. The method is going to be which method? Tell me. Tell me which method am I going to use to update a book? Put or patch, right? So here we are using patch because we are updating part of the book, not the whole book. Okay. So we're going to use the patch method, and then the URL is going to be obviously, we are going to provide the ID because which book we want to update. Now here, remember you have to manually type the ID. Not really. You can actually provide the variable ID and it will get done, right? Save it. But we also need to provide the body, right? What we are going to update. So yes, go to body, select raw, and then provide a body right here. Okay. So let's go ahead and provide a body. The body should be actually, available in Postman Academy. So let's go here, copy the body and paste it right here. So let me show you what I did again with a very simple form. So we added a new request called as checkout book. We made the method as patch. We added the URL and then we added a body, right? And then the body was added with a JSON. We also added a param called as ID because we need to identify which book we want to update, right? For sure. Now let's save this request and then let's send this request. So save and send. Now, once you send this, you will see 200 OK, and you can see that checked out is now true from false. Nice. Now, if you get an error that the book does not exist, it means you have to add a book again. So just take care of that. Done, done. Everyone done? Give me a thumbs up in the chat, folks. Now we are run out of emojis also right now. No? By the way, remember this request requires authorization, but it is added because we added collection level authorization earlier, right? So see the benefit of using that. Very nice. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Done, done, done. Perfect. Okay. Now it's time to add delete a book request. Delete a book is easy. Can you do it for me? Yes. It should be easy. You can try. Give it a try. If not, I'll do it for you. Yes, yes. Can do. Oh, some people are confident. That's amazing. You should be confident in life. Yes. Okay, let me add that as well. So below checkout book, we are going to add a new request and we'll name it delete book. Okay. The method is going to be obviously delete and the URL is going to be /ID because we need to provide an ID to delete a book. So the ID is going to be the variable, nothing else, just this. Yeah, it's already done. Hit send and you can see it says 204. 200 means it was successfully executed, but there's no content. So no content is visible. But if I try to send it again, it will give me a 404 because the book is already deleted. So I cannot delete a deleted book. So it gives me a 404. Nice. Nice. Okay. Cool. So yeah, that's almost 90% of the course completed. We have 20 more minutes and we have final check which is our final test of learning about APIs. Perfect. Everyone done till here? Remember, the request should be in exact same order, right? So get books, get fiction book, get book by ID, add book, checkout book, and delete book. If they are not, you can drag and drop them. Okay. So yeah, make sure the requests are in exact order, because that is how it will run the test, and then it will, else it will give you an error. So make sure they are in the exact same order. Okay. Okay. Nice. Now let's go ahead and learn about Postman's code gen feature. By the way, so here let's say if you're adding a book, here you can see that this is a little complex request in comparison, right? So if I got a starter code for it while I was writing, that would be so good, so better, right? So let's go here in Postman. On the right hand side, you can see this small code icon on the right hand side, just below documentation and comment, you can see this. If you click on that, you can actually see the curl command, or you can change it to, let's say, JavaScript or JavaScript fetch, and it will give you the base code for it. How nice is this, right? Super nice, if you ask me. You get like the base code, which is super nice. So yeah, you can actually use this feature. I use this a lot sometimes. So it's a very life-saving feature. Sometimes you get the basic idea of if it is working or not. Nice, and the template code as well. Okay, now remember the challenge, social challenges are still going on. So go ahead, participate, and win some awesome swags. More about that in step number 3. You can see the social media challenge, which is going on. By the way, the badge is obviously everyone is going to receive that. We also have the student expert challenge, which I'll explain a little bit after the workshop ends. And then we also have iPad, gaming keyboard, smartwatch as a giveaways, which is next level stuff, right? Okay. Now that everything is done, let's go ahead and do a skill check. We need to check our skills. Now, before we do that, I want you to go to final check and run this request, send this request. And if you do that, you will see that the test results say 22 out of 28. Now, a lot of times people will not save the request and you will get less marks. Okay. Earlier you were getting how much? 16, right? 16 on 16. Now we are getting 22 on 28. And if you click at failed, you will see that all the tests which are failing are part of skill check only. So that is the only request remaining. Everything else is done. But if you click on pass, you can actually see all the pass requests. So you should all see 22 out of 28. If not, it means you have not saved the request, you have not done it properly. Rewind a little bit or go to each lesson and you can actually see the videos, right? I have embedded these videos. So yeah, take advantage of that. Okay, nice. So now that this is good, let's go ahead and do the skill check. Skill check task number 1. Now we are switching our hat and we are no longer librarian, but we are a movie enthusiast. Okay. So we'll switch gears and we'll call ourselves movie enthusiast. So we'll use a movie API, mock it, right? So let's go ahead and make a first request and name it skill check. Okay. So let's go ahead, do that. We'll have to add it after the delete request. So click delete and go here, click on this 3 dots and click on add a request. Name it skill check. Now here the method is going to be post and the URL they have given. So they have given the URL right here. Let's copy that and let's paste it here. Save this and hit a send. Now you can see that it returns 200. Okay, and this works. So the first task got successfully executed. Now task number 2 is to add a parameter called as movie name. So let's go ahead and do that. But before that, let's do a final check and see if it reduces. Yeah, it reduced the first one. See? So we completed task number 1. So it is now 23 out of 28. Nice. Okay. Let's go to skill check and let's add a query param. Now the query param is going to be movie name. Let's add the key as movie name. And the value is going to be your favorite movie. So you can add the favorite movie. For me, it is Inception. I also like a lot of Bollywood movies, like if you've seen Shridesh or if you've seen Tumbad, that is like one of my favorite movies. And my recent favorite is Maharaja. If you've watched it, oh my god, this is like super super amazing, right? But yeah, select your favorite movie, add the value right there, save it, and send it. Now you can see in args, we also see a movie name kind of getting returned, which is nice. Okay. So task number 2 also done successfully. Now task number 3 is to turn your base URL into a variable. So we need to, turn the base URL into a variable called as skilljack base URL. That's a big name. So let's copy that so that we don't make a mistake, right? Skilljack base URL. And we have to select same thing from M to H, right? So let's go here and select from M all the way till H and click on set as variable. Set as new variable, name it skilljack base URL, collection level, and set. Easy, easy peasy. You already done this. It should be very easy for you. Save this request and hit a send. Nice. So till now we have done 3 tasks, which is super awesome. Task 1, task 2, and task 3. Let's check if our skill check also says that. So let's go to final check, run this request, and absolutely we have done task 1 to 3, and 4, 5, 6 is remaining, which is failing. So let's get that 28 out of 28. Okay. So let's go to skill check. Now the next part is to add and request level authorization. Remember, this is not a collection level authorization. This is a request level authorization. So let's go ahead and add a request level authorization. And here the key is going to be student expert and the value is going to be skill check. So let's go ahead, add the key as student expert and add the value as skill check. So let's go here, go to authorization. From here, select API key. And the key is going to be API key. API key is going to be student-expert and the value is going to be skill check. Nice. So you can, if you don't remember, you can obviously come back to Academy and check it. Remember, this is a request level authorization. We are not adding it on collection level. Okay. Earlier we added it on collection level, but now it is only request level. If you hit send, you can see in the response, you will see, the new header getting sent, which is student expert and skill check, which is nice. Okay. So now authorization is also added. Perfect. Now I'm going to take a pause here because I've been rushing this 4 request. So I'll take a pause here, let you do this 4 request because this is I don't have to wait for you. Why? Because you already knew all of these. So you just have to rerun it, It's very, very simple, isn't it? Yes, it is. Nice. Okay. So yeah, if you are facing any errors, Discord, chat support. But yeah, if you are able to do that, that's super awesome. Okay. Task number 5. Add a JSON body with the property name actor name and set the value to actor name from the movie you chose. Okay, that's nice. Let's go here. Go to body. Click on raw. And here we need to add an actor name. So JSON, bracket curly braces open, uh, double quotes, actor name, colon, double quotes, right? So this is how the JSON looks like, by the way, right? You remember key value pair, everything in double quotes, right? So now the value is going to be your favorite actor from the movie. For me, it's Leonardo. But you can, select any other actor, probably the Khans or, like the newer ones or from Hollywood, any actor which you love or you're, good about. Nice. Okay. Save it, send it. And now you can see that the data is sent in the, it is returned in the data section. Nice. Okay. Now this is the last part and it is a little tricky. So it says that set the variable using a post response script. Let's automatically set the actor name as a collection variable named favorite actor in the post response script tab of the request. Write a script to get the actor name from the response body and save the value as a new collection variable called favorite actor. Remember the ID variable which we created like this? This is the exact same thing, right? But I'm going to show you a shortcut. Don't tell anyone, right? Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to go to scripts. In post response, we are going to use postbot. So click on postbot, and postbot is like, our AI version of, helping you to do things. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it this prompt to postbot to add that as a collection level variable, right? So I'll come back to Academy. I'll copy from write a script. So I'm just showing you once here. I'm going to draw it also. So from write a script to here, I'm going to copy, the prompt. So copy this. Now once copied, let's go to skill check and paste it in postbot and let postbot do the work for us. Let's see if postbot will be able to do this. It added a test, which is, nice, but not nice because we don't want a test. So yeah, it is not the exactly how we wanted it to work, but it did come up with, no, yeah, it is not working because it will give you an error if you add a test, right? So the code is going to be very simple. Let me write it. Postbot did not. Yeah, the secret did not work, but let me go ahead and type it, right? So remember, by the way, you don't have to type it from scratch. You can go and copy this code from your add a book and paste it here. But here there are a few changes. The first thing is we don't have ID, but we need what? We need actor name from data, right? So here let's say we don't need this. We don't just need this. Instead, what we are going to do is we are going to copy this and we are going to say ID dot data dot, and then we have actor name, right? So actor name. Now what it is exactly doing is it is going into the PM's response. Then inside that it is going into data. Then it is going into actor name. Now obviously we don't want to confuse ID, so we'll name it actor name, right? So that way it is, or we'll name it, let's say, the response res. That is the better way. um, so it's not confusing, right? And the variable name is going to be actor. No, variable name is favorite actor, right? So variable name is favorite actor. So let's set that as a favorite actor. Okay, nice. So this should be good. Let's save it and send it. And now what should happen is if you go here in the Postman library API and variables, you can see the favorite actor added in the variables. Nice. So you can see this is how the code is going to look like. By the way, if you're using postbot, make sure the code looks, like similar, else it might give you an error in the final check. Okay. So yeah, sometimes postbot gives you accurate response, which is similar to this, but sometimes it doesn't. So I'll give you a moment to look at this and yeah, add it in your request. Make sure it is very simple. Constant res dot pm dot response dot json, which we actually saw it from there. Then collection level variables dot set, name of the variable which is favorite actor, and then res, which is the input, dot data dot actor name. Nice. Okay. So this was the last item. Hopefully everything should be done. Let's go ahead and check the collection. Let's go to final check and run it. Yay, congratulations. So, yeah, you folks have 28 out of 28, which means you cleared the course with flying colors, which is super, super awesome. But don't go yet because we still need to claim the certificate and almost last 10 minutes left for our session to end, right? By the way, if you're stuck somewhere, look at our detailed FAQ right here. We also have a very, very detailed FAQ which will help you resolve errors. We also have a very supportive Discord community which will help you to solve the errors as well. Okay. How many of you got 28 out of 28? Let's see in the chat. Oh, 27. Okay. 26. Stuck on the last part? Yeah, you can rewind and actually pause and write the script yourself, by the way. You don't have to, type it all. You can kind of, yeah, use AI tools to extract and, set the script probably. No? Okay, nice. So let's go ahead and, do a little recap and claim our certificate. Okay. So what did we learn about? We learned about APIs, Postman, get, post, put, patch, delete, request, set variables, authorization, API code, and so on and so forth. Now let's go next and let's submit our Postman collection for gaining the certificate. So what we have to do is we have to go ahead and run the submit request here. So you can see the submit request in the test collection. And here the request is set properly. Let's go to body. And in body, we have to just copy paste this JSON, which we are given here. So let's just copy paste this, save it, and send it. Once you send it, you can see congratulations. The lesson has been marked complete because you can see that the lesson is logged here. So you'll have to send the request to unlock the lesson. You can also see the GIF, which exactly mentions the same thing, right? I have also a video right here, which explains one and the same thing. So you can actually look at that also. Nice. Refresh this page and the page is unlocked. Let's hit next. Wow. So let's claim the badge. How do you claim the badge? Go to library API, share the API via API, and share the collection via API, and then paste the link here. Nice. Okay. So let's go here, library API v2, click on three dots, click on share collection. Via API, we have this URL, copy this and paste it right here in the student expert JSON. Hit on claim badge, and that should ideally work, and I should get the completion. So the badge is already issued to the user. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, so we have got the badge right here, and in our inbox you will actually see that we will actually kind of see that the completion, and we will actually be able to see the backpack. So let's go to backpack and let's see our badger badge. Sometimes you'll have to sign in, by the way. So here you can see I don't have an account. So I'll sign in with Google. Easy way that way, right? And I can see my badge, which is awarded. So you can see my badge is awarded to me, right? And I can actually kind of go ahead and, check this out. Nice. So once this is done, I can go ahead and fill out the feedback, which is important, folks. So please, only 6 questions mentioned. So go ahead and take the survey and tell us if you love this course, if you don't, if you love my teaching style. I'll be really helpful. It will be really helpful for me to improve as well, right? By the way, how do you download your certificate? Very simple. Once you open Badger, you can go here, click on these three dots and click on print certificate. Okay. So once you click on that, you will actually see the certificate being printed, and you can click on print and it will work exactly like that. Okay. So yeah, go to Postman API Fundamental Student Expert, go to Badger. Once you get that email, go to Canvas Badge, open here, click on these three dots and click on print certificate, and you will see your certificate right here. By the way, this method is also mentioned in the Notion. So if you go to Notion, you can actually see how to get your certificates right here. So you can see how to download your certificate video, which is there, which is awesome. And you can also connect with me here on Twitter, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Please tell me how did you like the session and mention if you attended this workshop, because I get a lot of LinkedIn requests. So it would be very nice if you mention that, right? So yeah, to wrap this up, we kind of committed our Postman collection. We got the completion email and we were able to download our certificate, right? Exactly. So yeah, feel free to, go ahead and participate in the giveaway. There's a student expert challenge going on where you will get 4 items, which is super nice, right? And you'll have 20 kits to be awarded to people. We have been awarding a lot of kits here, so you can participate in all these challenges which are there and get a chance to also win some awesome swags apart from the certificate which you have won. Also, the first, I guess there are first 100 students who complete the certification will have access to the premium version of Postman via an education plan via Let's Upgrade. So yeah, that is the really good perk. So if you are facing errors, it might motivate you to go ahead and solve these errors and participate in the giveaway. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Give me your fun emoji to see that you enjoyed a lot, and I'll give you a confetti as a congratulations for completing the course. Perfect. So yeah, thank you so much, folks, for joining in. Really love teaching you folks about API. Feel free to connect with me. All the links are mentioned there. I'll mention my LinkedIn in the chat as well. And hopefully you all are able to learn about APIs, get certified by Postman for free, and also able to get some awesome swags at the end of the day. Bye bye, have a great day, and meet you soon somewhere in person at an event. Bye bye, have a great day ahead.